Hello and welcome back to Paddock and Track, the show where we bring you news on and off the track. I'm Max, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host Amaan.
What is up, guys?
And today, we are finally back.
It's been so long.
It's been a hiatus. We really needed this. Not really.
Not
we
really.
Had time.
Yeah.
That's okay though. What's important is that we are back and we are
Better than ever.
theoretically.
Yeah.
But we are back with the Japanese Grand Prix.
Race number 3 on the
Yes.
calendar. I know we are pretty behind, but like we'll catch up. We'll catch up.
We're
eventually.
getting there. The first thing that we have to talk about before we really get into the race is actually two things concerning Red Bull. Yuki Tsunoda.
Yes.
Yay!
Welcome, Yuki.
Finally, they realized that they were dumb, and they put Yuki Tsunoda onto Red Bull.
For in time for his home Grand Prix.
Yes, and for who knows how long. Could be like we don't really know.
Could be 2 races, just like
The
Liam
thing is,
Lawson.
Yeah, will it last to the end of the season? I don't know yet. Judging by this performance, it's iffy. Unfortunately for Yuki, we all love Yuki here.
Yeah.
But, it's a little iffy. You never know. Especially with Red Bull's track record with drivers, they're not really very lenient.
Yeah.
As we've seen with, there's a bunch of examples. You could literally name anyone: Pierre Gasly, Albon, Yuki Tsunoda, theoretically maybe now. Lawson, Perez to an extent, because he was there for a while, to be fair, but still. So we'll see kind of how that goes, how long this lasts for Yuki.
Yeah.
Hopefully for his sake, we've seen him have good performances. It's not that he's a bad driver at all. It's just a question of if he can still do that in the Red Bull car that kind of sucks.
Yeah. So far we can see that Max Verstappen, obviously with the skill he has been carrying that car to, right now in Suzuka, he's in pole. So he carries the car, but I think maybe that could be the skill to Max Verstappen rather than the car. Maybe the car is relatively unstable for the normal driver. I think we saw that with Perez first, and then now we saw it with Lawson. Mm-hmm. So let's see if Yuki can maybe tame the car a bit and he can get some much needed points for Red Bull.
Yeah, hopefully for him he can. Just because, they really do need those points. Especially the car hasn't seemed quite as good as it has been in past seasons.
Clearly not.
More on the form of last season. And even last season, it might be a bit of an overstatement. They were very good at the beginning, and then they fell off. So it's a question of, will they kind of have a similar thing where at the beginning they're good and then they sort of drop away, or will it be just
will it be okay? Time?
Yeah. But we can see from the starting grid that the Red Bull car is still definitely good.
Mm-hmm.
Max Verstappen starting on pole, and also the livery they had this weekend was incredible. I really love it. It's just like the one they did, I want to say in 2021, but I could be lying about that. But either way, that car it just looked gorgeous. It was like
the white livery with the red. Yeah,
it just always looks good. It's it's like a half yay Japan race, half yay Honda. Either way,
it's similar to like a Racing Bull livery, where
almost yeah. But the Racing Bulls liveries have been really good.
They have been.
And that's actually funny that I don't know if we've mentioned that before, but V-Carb is now Racing Bulls.
Yeah.
Officially, when you look at all the official reports that the FIA puts out, they are Racing Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
So
better
it's
V-Carb.
kind of interesting
Visa
name
Cash
change.
App.
Honestly, I think it's just because now it's simpler. Now you kind of know what they are.
Yeah.
At least somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
Which is better than where they were before, which is what is V-Carb? That doesn't mean anything. The livery was just really nice. It was really good, and I was a big fan, and I think they should do this.
I think it was the best one too. We also saw Haas also put on the roses on their
the
car.
cherry blossoms.
The cherry blossoms. Yeah.
It was nice, but the Red Bull one is better. Let's be honest.
Clearly, yeah. It is.
But now back to the race itself here. So again, we see Max Verstappen starting on pole. And a very close qualifying with Lando Norris.
Hundredths of a second.
Yeah, only about 1/100th of a second between the two. So very close between the two of them. So again, Lando Norris then starting second with Oscar Piastri, his teammate, right behind him in third.
Mm-hmm.
So a very familiar front row of Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. Of course, this year has been already been far different for Lando Norris than last season.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, last season was Lando Norris's first race win at Miami. But this season I think is shaping up to be much better for him.
Yes, for sure. I mean, he's
Um,
got that experience now too
definitely.
with a better car.
And then Charles Leclerc following up behind Piastri in P4. A much larger gap here than between the top three, about almost 0.3
Yes.
between Charles Leclerc and Oscar Piastri, as opposed to about 1/10 separating the top three. So that kind of just shows the difference in performance there between the McLarens and Max Verstappen and the Ferraris.
And the rest.
The rest, yeah. So we see the two Mercedes falling behind, George Russell 5th, and Antonelli 6th. Still a decent result considering this is his third race ever in
Kimi Antonelli, good job.
big car. Yeah, and I mean, we all had our doubts, especially us two had our doubts.
Yeah, for sure.
About Kimi Antonelli. We were worried that, like some other people, Logan Sargent, namely, is one I could think of at the top of my head, he was going to be rushed through F2.
Yeah, true.
And he really has done well. It's not been like stellar, but I mean, he's been as good as you would expect compared to George Russell.
Yeah.
I would say that he has not done badly.
Yeah. Well, speaking of doubts, Isaac Hadjar, after crashing at the formation lap in race 1, he has gotten to his first Q3.
Yeah.
And
Or no, it's not his first Q3.
Second.
I think he was in Q3 before. I believe at Australia he wasn't in Q3. I will double check that. You can keep going. I will check for you.
Yes, but as we see, Isaac Hadjar, he has really come alive here, getting to the Q3 in that Racing Bull. So that's pretty good. Better than out-qualifying his teammate. Now the new Racing Bull, Liam Lawson.
Well, I will say just to follow up on that. He was in also actually, funnily enough, also 7th place in China, the race of China, not the sprint, but the race. In Australia, he was just outside of Q3, starting in 11th.
So he's just continuing his.
But still, yes.
Yeah, he's continuing his good.
A second Q3 for him in 2 out of 3 races. He's been in Q3.
Yes, and that's pretty good for Isaac Hadjar, the other rookie right here too as well. Behind him, we see Lewis Hamilton, 8th place. So it's okay. I mean, he's getting acclimated with the car. He's been with Mercedes for a long time. I don't know how long we can go before like giving him the benefit of the doubt here.
Yeah, it's hard because I mean, and again, Leclerc, like you said, yes, he is still getting used to the car, but Leclerc is in 4th. You know, you kind of, at least you kind of expect him to be ahead of Hadjar.
Yeah, I mean, he finished. He finished
500th ish.
500th,
off.
yeah.
So it's not like he's very far away, but still, at the end of the day, like, I mean, you're Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time world champion, versus Isaac Hadjar, 3rd race of his F1 career.
In the Racing Bull. So,
little
like,
weird.
yeah. And then right behind him, we see Alex Albon in Q3. So, I believe that's the first Q3
I have no idea
for Williams.
But Williams, I mean, I think
2017.
Since 2017, I think at Suzuka. Their first Q3 at Suzuka since 2017.
Oh, that's what it was.
I believe.
Like,
but,
okay.
I mean, hey, Albon has been seemingly putting in the work. He's been doing well. At least as good as he can do in that Williams. I think he's really grown a lot from his early days with Toro Rosso.
Yeah.
And that little stint he did with Red Bull. I mean, he did manage to get 1 podium with Red Bull, so that's something.
He did.
But still, I mean, he's really grown a lot, I think, as a driver, and he's been doing... I wouldn't say good in the Williams because it's hard to do good in the Williams, but as good as he can.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's admirable.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And then we see another rookie. Well, we can consider him a rookie still. Oliver Behrman, you know, got some experience in the Haas and Ferrari, but for Haas, he got P10. That's pretty good.
Very good. And then we get into 11th is Pierre Gasly in the Alpine. The Alpine is...
the Alpine is still slow.
Good, yeah. Fernando Alonso behind him in 12th, and the Aston Martin also not a great looking car.
And then we see
Liam Lawson.
13 and 14th. So we got Liam Lawson out qualifying Yuki Tsunoda here.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate, especially considering again Yuki really needs to prove himself. And Liam Lawson is ahead of him. Yeah,
it could be a testament to what the Racing Bull is compared to the Red Bull, but like it's the first race, so we don't know.
Yeah.
But 13th, 14th are still not good, so it's not great. First start for Yuki, and obviously not a good start, obviously, for Lawson as well.
Yeah. Carlos Sainz in 15th here, barely making it into Q2.
So that might just be a Williams thing.
Yeah,
too.
it's
we
a
know
little
the
sad.
skill of Carlos Sainz. We know what he can do.
It's unfortunate for him because like he is a good driver. He's just in that Williams that, like we said, is just not very good. Albon seems to be doing better, but part of that is too he has been driving this car for a long time.
Yeah.
Or at least iterations of this car, and this is Sainz's third race in that Williams, so it's a little bit.
And
And
then
then
the 2 kicks in 16, 17.
hey, that's better than 19th and 20th.
Yeah, true. That is true.
So
See,
that's something.
Um,
Esteban Ocon
18th.
18th. That's not out of
Jack
form for
doing
him.
in 19th, and
Lance Stroll.
Lance Stroll in P20. All right, and nothing to say there.
And also to note, Sainz did have a 3-place grid penalty, so he would have been 12th place. That is something important to know. But either way, still, it's not great.
Good, yeah.
And that would have actually put Yuki Tsunoda into 15th place.
So not even that great either.
Putting him into the last of the spots of Q2. So that's not great.
Yeah, not good at all.
But now to get into the race here, it really, I think it wasn't the most exciting of races.
No, not really.
Everything was relatively clean. There wasn't a lot of incidents. It just kind of went. Like, it was just a race that went.
I mean, there was a little bit of fighting at the top.
Yeah, a little bit. So, like I said, the start was pretty clean. Really, you're looking there at the Verstappen and Norris kind of. Those two were, like, when you look at the grid, they're, like, angled so far in towards each other. But it was relatively clean. They both got through, and Verstappen took the lead, and he had the lead basically the whole time, minus the time in pit stops where, like, things get weird. But it was really, I mean, it was kind of Max Verstappen's day, which he hasn't had a lot recently, so it's good for him.
Yeah, pretty good.
And, like, really, Piastri and Norris were sort of like, they were always there. They never fell, like, very far behind.
Yeah, they didn't really feel like a threat. They were just there. They were just in second and third.
They were never really much over, if they were ever, like, over 2 seconds away. They were kind of hovering in
I
that,
think the closest they were was, like, 1 second, but it was, like, not, it didn't reach under a second.
Yeah, they really were not ever, like, at a point where I think Red Bull would have been worried about them.
Yeah, like.
Except for one pit stop, which we'll get into a little later. But really, they were not a threat. I would not say that. I mean, which I think shows you that here we always talk about like who was the best car this weekend, and I think here it's always hard when we talk about Red Bull because it's like, is Red Bull the best car or is Max Verstappen the best driver?
I think it was just Max Verstappen's the best driver because I think McLaren was the best car because again they were in second and third.
Yeah.
Whereas Max Verstappen was in first and Yuki Tsunoda was in 14th. So it was like you can say that the best car was McLaren, but I think the best driver was Verstappen.
Yeah, and that's kind of always what we end up running into is that like Max Verstappen is just that good. The car is just. It's just set up for him.
Yeah.
Like, at a certain point, you have to admit that the car is set up for him. It very much is. There's really nothing else you can say except that it's set up for him. It really...
it's like no matter who you put in the second driver spot, it's just not going to work.
Yeah, and I mean, you understand, right? Max Verstappen has won you, 4 world championships now? But at the same time, you also have to consider that he's not the only one driving the car.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just is sad to watch anyone else drive the car because they just can't. Like physically, I don't think they just can't do it.
Yeah, it's just that's not for his driving style, which is aggressive.
And it's not to say that any of the drivers they put in that seat are bad drivers. None of them. I mean, Sergio Perez was very good those first couple seasons. The first
he was really good.
Season or two that he was with Red Bull, he was great. Winning races and everything. Even in 2022, when they were so dominant, he won a couple races still. Then 23, it was just like nothing. All of a sudden, boom.
Yeah, all of a sudden, like you can't just automatically like flip a switch off and like you just suck. Like that's just not.
That's not really. It doesn't happen like that. And everyone that you put in this car, even Liam Lawson, let's be honest with ourselves, even Liam Lawson is not that bad of a driver that he was like consistently like at the bottom in that car. He shouldn't have been. But that's the problem with Red Bull and their program is that they like to rush people because they want another Max Verstappen. As we've said, they want another Max Verstappen. They want someone who's going to be magically incredible, which is not realistic. And B, they don't have patience. So then when somebody's not doing well because the car is just not set up for them whatsoever, and then it's like, okay, then you're out.
He was there for 2 races and they dropped him. Like, okay.
Yes, he didn't perform well, but at the same time, it's like it's not really fair.
Then you should put Yuki in the Red Bull in the first place. Like, you.
Yeah.
I mean, if that was like your reason, like it's weird.
Yeah, and I don't. So that's I don't know. And then if nothing is certain, but if Max Verstappen were ever to leave, what happens then, right?
Yeah.
Now you have this car that's set up for someone who's not on your team, and now it's like if he does leave, will they change the car up? Will they make the car actually not horrible to drive? I don't know.
Well, I mean, the new regulations are coming in 2026, so we don't know. I mean, we also don't know the future of Max Verstappen either.
Of course, yeah.
So like, if he stays with the team, what are they gonna do with the new regs?
Yeah.
But like, if he leaves, it might be better for the team overall. Yeah. I don't know, but we can talk about that more later on.
Yeah, as always, there are rumors.
Yes, of course.
So we will get into those. But we also noticed that there was less of a fight between the Piastri and Norris, and less of a fight between Verstappen and Norris, and more between Piastri and Norris.
Yes.
It kind of fluctuated throughout the race where they were close, then they were further away, then they were closer. It was kind of on and off, but for a point, it seemed like they might switch the two around. They never ended up doing it.
Yeah.
Piastri looked fast at some points, but then he looked like kind of just hanging around.
Yeah.
Like it didn't really feel like this was a race where McLaren was really like, okay, we need to push. This was really a race where McLaren was like, okay, let's just sit back and like relax.
Yeah.
Because honestly, that's how fast the car is.
Mm-hmm.
But also it makes you wonder, like, it seemed, okay, so on the one hand, it seemed kind of relaxed.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, they didn't pass Max Verstappen.
I feel like there was like there wasn't like a sense of urgency with the race.
No, it didn't feel like it.
Maybe they just have internal plans that they were trying to do. Maybe it was a research thing they wanted to try to accomplish, get some data. Like I don't know.
I really have no idea, but it didn't seem like they were at any point concerned. But it also didn't seem like at any point they were really trying to go after Max Verstappen.
Yeah, I feel like it was a conservative race. I mean, except for one point in the race.
Yes, which we can talk about that now.
Yeah, so there was one pit stop where it was Max Verstappen and both Lando Norris. They both pitted. Max Verstappen was released first, so he got out. He was into the exit.
And also, it's important to remember where their pit boxes are.
Mm-hmm.
The Red Bull pit box is, so they go basically in championship order from the previous season. So the furthest down. So the pit box that's at the end of the pit lane is first place in the constructors, and then it goes back.
So McLaren's first.
Yeah, McLaren has the first one, and then
Ferrari was second.
Yeah, and then Red Bull's the third one.
Yeah.
So it's important just to remember that when you're thinking about this. So anyways, go ahead.
So Verstappen was first. So like as we said, he's the third pit box. So he was already ahead of Norris.
And Verstappen was first as they came into the pit.
Yes. So he already got released from the pits, and then so Norris tried to quickly get to catch up to him. But they tried to go side by side with each other, but it looked like Verstappen like moved right a little bit, but I think he had the space.
I think it was, well, okay, to be fair, what Norris was doing wasn't really warranted.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, to be fair, I think most of the blame can be put on his team because they shouldn't have released him because Verstappen was coming by at the time that they were releasing Norris. And so they should have waited for Verstappen to pass and then go. You're not really supposed to go side by side in the fast lane of the pit lane, so that's like it's not really fast. They're going whatever 60 kilometers per hour, but the sort of left side, well, some of them are flipped, but either way, the part where the cars drive down and not the side with the pit boxes, that's the fast lane. So when you're in the fast lane, then everyone else the people in the pit boxes have to yield to you. But it's up to the team to tell the drivers when they go because let's be honest, they can't see very much in those cars. So really you're just waiting for the jacks to drop and then you go, and the people get out of the way, then you go. But the problem is that they just let him go when they should have been looking and saying, let's wait like the second for him to pass and then go. Yeah. Just because then they both went out side by side. The pit exit is not that wide because Verstappen can't cross the white line on the pit exit, otherwise he gets a penalty. Yeah. Both of them, I mean, it doesn't matter who does it, but in this case Verstappen was on the left side. And so then Norris was on the grass.
Yeah. So
it was weird. It was honestly, I think, silly from Norris. It was a little childish because it's like I get that you want to pass him, but at the same time, like, it's not worth going on the grass because now you've ruined you're not ruined, but now you've got grass all over your fresh tires.
Yeah, like it's not good for the long run with your tires.
Yeah,
you just pitted. Like,
yeah, that's the thing. So I think it was a little bit silly of a move to do. And I don't know that it will.
Well, clearly nothing happened out of it. He
Yeah,
stayed
it was
where
fine.
he was.
He didn't get
So
a penalty.
yeah.
But it was a little silly.
Yeah. But that was basically the only like confrontation that
That
two
was
had.
the biggest thing, yeah.
Yeah.
We did notice Albon complaining of bad shifts, so a little weird as to what that means. It could mean any number of things.
Could have been him like shifting up and down. Maybe his gears. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
it could have meant that they were being slow. It could have meant they were just kind of being weird. Who knows? Those gearboxes are so complex. They're, but it's I don't know. The bad shifts is a thing that we've heard. We've heard Verstappen complain about that.
Yeah.
Especially last season. So I don't know if it's a similar problem. Who knows? It's kind of hard to say, but so that's something that Williams will definitely have to keep in mind as they develop this car. We also saw, honestly not a ton. Like we said, the top 6 were pretty stagnant throughout the race. They really didn't change.
Yeah.
I like pretty much whatsoever.
Well, Antonelli did get the fastest lap, so
this is true.
Good for him.
I was surprised about this. Kimi Antonelli did end up getting the fastest lap. It was kind of impressive again when you consider that he is like, I mean, again, like all of the rookies, yes, it's their third race, sorry, but still, like in that Mercedes, it can be a difficult car to drive.
Yeah.
At least more so than one of the slower ones, because slower is always easier, But either way, still impressive from him that he's really getting used to this car fast.
Yeah.
And like I said, the top 6 are literally exactly the same. They didn't change at all, qualifying to now. 7th place, yes, Lewis Hamilton gained 1 place.
They just switched.
And then the top 10 is the same.
No, the top 10 was exactly the same, except for Lewis switched with Hadjar.
Yeah, and then even looking down further, it's not that different. Fernando Alonso went up 1 place. Yuki Tsunoda made the most progress, I would say. He made his way up to 12th place, which is something. Considering he started in 15th, it's something.
No, I think Jack Doohan did. I think he went from P19 to P15. So
that, I suppose, yeah. But honestly, when you look at the top 10, again, the top 10 is the exact same as the race start, except that Lewis Hamilton passed Isaac Hadjar. That's it.
Well, he should pass Isaac Hadjar. But
I would hope so, yeah.
Yeah.
But so it wasn't the most exciting race.
The difference between the top 3 between 3 and 4. Look at that. It was a 14-second difference. So we know who.
And considering there's 2 seconds between the top 3 that are separated by 2.1 seconds. Yeah. And then the gap from Piastri to Leclerc is 14 seconds.
So I think we see who's like separated themselves.
Yeah.
It's just Verstappen and the McLarens.
Yeah.
Versus the rest. As of now, we can see what changes. But yeah.
Yeah. So, again, to end off the race here, we see Max Verstappen winning. Again, it was just kind of his day.
Yeah.
Just leading the race. He led a solid race. It wasn't very crazy for him.
He had all the clean air.
Yeah, he just kept going.
Yep.
Lando Norris coming home 2nd place. Oscar Piastri behind in 3rd. So their championship fight is going very well, at least in the constructors.
Yes.
Between the two of them, it is still very close for the drivers' championship. So we'll see how that goes, especially as they are teammates. So that's always gets a little weird. Again, Charles Leclerc 4th, George Russell 5th, Antonelli behind him in 6th. And then again, the only 2 that changed in the top 10, Lewis Hamilton coming home 7th, Isaac Hadjar 8th, and then Albon 9th, Behrman 10th. Looking down the rest of the way, again, not much that's crazy here. Yuki Tsunoda 12th, like we said.
Liam Lawson 17th, so he dropped.
Also, yes. It is good for Tsunoda that he made up a couple places, but still it's not that much. Pierre Gasly 13th, and Carlos Sainz 14th. I know we've talked about this before. You feel bad for Sainz because he is kind of low down in the.
Yeah, but I think he signed up for that though when he went to Williams.
This is true, but like you kind of wonder. Like I've always wondered what it's like for someone who's looking for a new team, because like how many offers are they getting? Is this the only offer he got? Did he get something else that he didn't want?
Could have been Kick.
This is true. He could be on Kick, so it's better than that.
Yeah.
But so he's in 14th. It's obviously not what he would want, because who would want that? But
let's see how Williams develops.
This is true. Yes.
See how it is. It's only the 3rd race. So see how much these cars change. Maybe Kick Sauber could be better too as well.
Who knows? Jack Doohan made up places.
Yep, 4 places. He went from 19 to 15.
Good for him. Nico Hulkenberg in 16th, so not the best.
Lance Stroll just got lapped. Yep.
So last place. Surprisingly, the only driver to be lapped. which is interesting. Usually you see more, but
Yeah, and also no DNFs, so a clean race relatively.
Yeah, like we said. So, not the most exciting race, but it was good still.
Yeah.
I do want to talk. This is probably, I don't know how this works with continuity, but it's fine. There are a lot of rumors going around with Max Verstappen's future. A lot of rumors about him and a certain team based out of Britain, a Mercedes. I could see it.
But they're gonna have to drop Russell. Like that's the
thing.
That's the only one because they love Antonelli.
They won't drop Antonelli probably.
I mean, Antonelli's been proving himself, so I think they would never drop him. I don't think they would probably drop Russell.
So Max Verstappen has a number of exit clauses in his contract.
I think they drop a certain below. I think.
Yeah, I don't know all the specifics on it, to be honest, but he has a number of exit clauses in his contract, and so he has ways out of his contract. Mm-hmm. The question is if he will use them or not. Mm-hmm. And that part we don't know yet, of course. I think it's possible that he will because he's unhappy right now. Not always. Of course, this race is fine, but it seems like sometimes he's not been happy. Especially last season, he really wasn't happy. The start of the season's been okay for him. It's been good, but not the best.
Yeah.
And so I could see him looking for a way out. But why Mercedes? We had heard in the past rumors of like humongous deals between him and Aston Martin, which wouldn't be necessarily entirely out of the question, just because of the Honda link, I guess. Because we know that in 2026, Honda will be doing the engines for Aston Martin, and they will stop doing engines with Red Bull. So maybe that's something. Yeah. Or I suppose Honda doesn't really do engines with Red Bull. They like sort of do, but it's like Honda Red Bull. Yeah. So Mercedes is an interesting thing for him. Yeah. I could see it happening.
I mean, it's a good team. It has a good foundation, I think. Strong foundation.
And I mean, it's not like they haven't been like, I feel like they don't have a ton of problems usually.
They don't. There's like no controversy, no problems like Ferrari. Like problems with Ferrari, controversy with Red Bull. They just been relatively stable.
Yeah, and I think that honestly, it's everyone. I keep wanting to talk about reliability, and then I remember that like now that's not a problem. Like how many times now in modern Formula 1 do we see reliability problems?
Well, maybe Alpine, but like
Alpine
a lot less season, but specifically Pierre Gasly.
But like now. It's uncommon, I feel like, to see someone have like an engine failure. But even look back like maybe a little more than 5 years ago, but like 5-10 years ago,
like engine specifically,
they had engine problems. Like engine problems were a big thing.
Yeah,
you would have problems with your engine, and now it's like it's fine. I mean, they replace this stuff a lot, but they were doing that then, and they just like don't have.
I feel like just the issues they have is just other things like hydraulics or like brakes.
Yeah,
like
but
just those other things.
Anyway, that's a random tangent to go on, but just feel like reliability is no longer a problem with these
It's pretty
cars.
good, yeah. I mean, it makes for better racing because everyone can perfectly race. Perfect.
But yeah, so we'll see what manifests from that. We'll see if Verstappen ends up doing anything with Mercedes or not, but I think it'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think that wraps it up for us on this episode of Paddock and Track. We are working as hard as we can to catch up with these races. But so we will do our best, and then we will see you guys for the next one.
Goodbye.